Hey, hey, happy Tuesday. I hope you've had a dynamic start to your week. I know that I did for sure. Being in bed all day yesterday was not the way I intended to start this week. But happy Tuesday to all of you. Thanks for jumping on and tuning in. I'm going to try to keep today's topic how do I want to say that? On the less spicy side. But some of you may be able to read between the lines tonight. So, welcome. Happy Tuesday to all of you. I don't know about you, but when we feel the squeeze, when the rules change on us, I don't know about you, but some rules are changing. And gosh, not too long ago, my daughter plays competitive softball, and it's always interesting because she's the catcher. When you have a new umpire that comes in, when they change the umpires, sometimes the zone, the strike zone changes. And actually, I learned that that's called being squeezed, and it's unacceptable. Like for most of us, these changes happen without our permission, without sometimes without our knowledge, and we just have to go through it. And so as business owners, things are always changing. The rules are always getting changed without our permission and without our consent oftentimes. And I don't know, some things that have changed in my world. How we used to do business has really, really changed. And I'm starting to see it. Now, during the pandemic, I know that that employment on lots of different angles started to change, and I didn't actually experience them until this last year. So the last 6 to 7 months is when I've noticed the change in our industries, but I know that the change has been there for other industries, and we're feeling the squeeze. And the squeeze is, the rules have changed, and as employers, we have to adjust to those changes with or without our consent. And the employment world has really, really shifted to where, the values and, how we looked at work and viewed work has really changed. And as an employer, it's been really challenging, I must say. I was talking to my neighbor the other day that works a lot with HR and things like that. And she says, if you right now in today's world, believe it or not, that if you have someone in their job for more than 18 months, that is considered amazing. 18 months is considered amazing. It's no longer 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. It's 18 months. And ironically, I was just hiring for a position about 3 weeks ago, and the average stay in employment is under a year. I am floored by this. I'm floored by how the pandemic, and I've only noticed this since the pandemic. So I'd love to hear your thoughts. What are your thoughts on this? If you're an employer, if you hire people, whether it's 1099s or W-2s, I would love to hear from you. Put it in the chat and write down some of the changes that you've noticed in your industry, because I think across the board in all industries, we're feeling the quote squeeze where the rules have been changed, and it's now us having to adjust to it. And so even in the last 3 weeks, I would say for me, having to really adjust to that and really being open to looking at a new way. And not to say that doesn't hurt, not to discount the frustration, because I'll be honest, there's moments where I'm like, oh my goodness, beyond frustrated when it comes to some of the changes that are coming down the pipe, and now we're starting to really feel them in all areas. And so when you start to feel the squeeze, I'll just be honest, take a deep breath in. This is happening for us, not to us. And if that has to become your mantra, I encourage you to do so. Whatever will keep you just staying sane in the moment. And then also looking at the perspective, the way the world, a lot of people said during the pandemic, I hope we go back to the way it was. And, there's something to be said when we have massive change like that it doesn't always, it's not going to go back to the way it was. And hopefully it goes into a new level. So I am shifting my perspective and saying, what if this is contributing to something greater? What if this is looking, this is going to work out better for us? We just may not have the forefront to know that right this second. And so really shifting the perspective. And I know right now it's like taking everything in us to buy a new perspective and seeing that this could be a contribution to us. Because I was, like I grew up with a strong work ethic. And so I know for a lot of entrepreneurs that are out there that have businesses, this is a big one for us, because the way we were brought up has really changed the viewpoint. And, they're calling it the millennial takeover right now by the year of 2025. The millennials have taken over the baby boomers. But there's some good that comes with that, and there's not so good that comes with that as well. And one of that is like some of the values, that we have, and some of the work ethic, and also, just I would just say, just some of our values that we have, whether that's loyalty or whether that's, doing the right thing. Some of those things are being tainted down, it seems to be. Now, I'm sure that, there's with everything, there's the outliers, right? So I'm not putting everyone into that bucket, but, it's interesting, the changes that are happening and coming down the way. So I'd love to hear from you. Put it in the chat. What are some of the changes that you're noticing? What are the changes that you're seeing and experiencing? But here's some things to live by when the new rules come. The rule is that we are ever expanding human beings. We are here to grow, evolve, and expand. And we may not see the gifts in it yet, but they're coming. Okay, just trust and hold that space for that, because as growth happens, change is like its second cousin, right? It's right there. So changes are here. These changes are here to help evolve us and to help grow us, whether we like it or not. But yeah, if you can find some humor in all of it, it always kind of eases the hit, if you will. Number 2 is just trust in the process. Trust in it, even though you may not have all the understanding of it in this moment. Just trust in the process that is leading us to where we need to go. And number 3 is, be in a place of gratitude, and wherever we can create, more with less, right? And how is this serving us? And then also looking at the reflection of us. What is this sharing? What are we being triggered by? What are those things that are coming up for us? And if we can have some awareness around it, then we can address it, right? And then how do we move forward with gratitude? How do we shift that into finding some shred of gratitude for this? Not too long ago, when I had someone leave the company, she's on her retirement. We knew kind of this path was coming. One of the greatest gifts is that, that opened up the door for money savings in the company. And so, it may not be seen right away when it happens, or when that change or when that shift happens. Now, I know that we're talking about employment and entrepreneurship and things like that, but this can be true for any changes that we're experiencing in our lives, whatever that might be. But looking for the gifts, looking for, what is the glimmer of hope in all of this. Because I truly believe, and this is just my belief system, is that I truly believe that things happen for us, not to us. And that given enough time, energy, and space, we can see what those elements were, even if it's not in the immediate future, right? And so just keeping an open mind to all of this, and also making sure that we have a great support system, someone that we can support, someone that we can reach out to and be supported by. Because, I've said this before on here, that, the pandemic really put a lot of things into motion, a lot of changes. And so whereas we were seeing these changes slowly over time, it kind of put it in fast forward button by accident, or maybe purposefully, I don't know. But things are speeding up way faster than ever before. And so we're being shown what we need to be shown. We're growing at levels that we've never been. And so things do feel like they're in fast forward motion. And so things, and if we're not being careful with it, kind of feel like they're, spinning out of control. But just trusting this process, that this is happening for us, not to us, is really important in keeping our sense where with us and where we're heading. So I'm going to invite you that if you are ready and willing to connect with us further, we are going to be rolling out some new information in our upcoming Breaking Beyond. We've selected the dates. Those will be rolling out here in the next few weeks. And so I can't wait to reveal to you who we're coming on, who we're going to be talking about business aspects, mindset aspects, and so much more. So make sure that you keep keep us stay in touch, and we will keep you posted on those next events that we have coming out in the new year. So my friends, love to hear from you. Drop below what has been your biggest challenge. I'd love to hear from you. And as always, be bold, be brave, be fearless, be the magic of you. Mwah! Massive love, and I'll see you next week. Bye-bye, everyone.